breaking news from KXAN News.
And that breaking news, KXAN has confirmed that the DEA assisted Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents in targeted enforcement operations here in Austin today. A source with the Drug Enforcement Administration says the DEA assisted the Department of Homeland Security, the department including ICE, in those operations. The DEA Houston field office spokesperson told KXAN that their agency assisted by providing resources to Immigration and Customs Enforcement in several cities today, including Austin. Meanwhile, protesters gathered outside the state capitol speaking out against recent deportation efforts across the nation. The event started around 3 with the crowd growing over the last couple of hours. Some attendees said that they were worried that officials won't be targeting people based on immigration status, but instead on race.
I mean, my husband's Mexican, and I fear that now he'll be targeted while he's out on a play date with our daughter. Does he need to carry his birth certificate around?
Meanwhile, in Chicago, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement spokesman Jeff Carter said the agency began conducting enhanced targeted operations. Today, spokespeople for the FBI, ATF, and the DEA confirmed their involvement, but didn't offer other details, including where those operations were happening or the total number of arrests. Yesterday, several Chicago-based immigrant rights groups filed a lawsuit against ICE, seeking an injunction providing certain types of immigration raids in Chicago. This comes after President Trump ended a policy that made churches and schools off limits to immigration agents. In Denver, the DEA released this footage of an early morning operation at a nightclub where at least 50 people were detained. And during President Biden's last year in office, ICE data shows agents arrested more than 113,000 people between January and September 2024. President Donald Trump is threatening retaliation efforts against Colombia, though, after the nation rejected migrants that were being deported. The president took to Truth Social on Sunday, saying that he would impose sweeping retaliatory measures on Colombia after the South American country turned away 2 U.S. military aircraft carrying migrants as part of his immigration crackdown. Colombia's president has condemned the practice. The retaliatory measures include imposing emergency 25% tariffs on all goods coming into the United States, which will go up to 50% in a week, as well as a travel ban and visas being revoked on Colombian government officials and its allies, and fully imposing emergency treasury, banking, and financial sanctions. Colombia's refusal to accept flights is the second case of a Latin American nation refusing U.S. military deportation flights after Mexico also refused to authorize a U.S. military deportation aircraft. Residents were ordered to shelter in place Sunday after SWAT was called out to South Austin. That's according to the Austin Police Department. A call came in around 6 this morning regarding an armed person south of Slaughter Lane. APD said the SWAT incident ended before 9 this morning and a suspect was in custody. We'll let you know as soon as we have more information.
First warning weather with meteorologist Tommy House.
Hey, hope you all had a great day today. Here's Bastrop courtesy of Valley Medical Emergency Room. Just a light mist and drizzle and cloud cover sticking around today. The radar is not picking up on too much, but for most of us out and about in Central Texas this afternoon, we've had a persistent drizzle through the evening hours that will continue overnight tonight. Temperature-wise, 46 in Gillespie County, 49 in San Saba, 48 in Lampasas, 47 in Burnett, 50s downtown, 51 in Bastrop, closer to 60, a lot more moisture toward places like Fayette County in the upper 50s, low 60s. Here's your evening plans. 47 by 10 p.m. Temperatures will just gradually go down tonight by just a few degrees. We'll stay in the mid to upper 40s out the door tomorrow. I'm keeping a 10% rain chance throughout the night tonight, and then Monday into Tuesday, we'll keep that 10% before we pick back up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with some heavier rain. So drizzle for the near future. 70s returning. I have multiple days of 70 degrees or more in my 7-day forecast, and also severe weather. I have an update on that coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Tommy. Hundreds of volunteers were out hand counting the number of people experiencing homeless in Austin today. It's called the Point in Time Count, and here's some video of volunteers out early this morning working to get those numbers. Groups are canvassing all of Travis County, getting an idea of how many people are unhoused, what resources they may need, and where our city and county may best use resources. The count is put on by the Ending Community Homelessness Coalition, or ECHO as they're known, and happens twice a year. It's required federally, but it's also a way for people to learn more about homelessness and what challenges people who are experiencing homelessness in Austin are facing.
I come out here because it's an interesting outreach effort. It's a good way to get community volunteers aware of the issue.
The numbers for this year's Point in Time Count won't come out for a few more months. Usually it takes about a year before they get all that information, but during the 2023 count, more than 2,300 people were identified as being homeless. Of those, around 1,300 were people sleeping outside or in cars, and around 1,100 were people sleeping in shelters or transitional housing. Now, this is an undercount, but ECHO does say it helps capture people who don't interact with the homelessness response system. We have a link to ECHO's data dashboard on homelessness over at KXAN.com under this story. A group of scientists from San Diego just happened to be off the coast of LA when the fire started, and what they found could affect the area months or even years from now. Meteorologist Greg Bledsoe provides a closer look at how the LA fires could eventually affect the food that we eat.
When the fires tore through Los Angeles, destroying thousands of homes and businesses, they also sent towering plumes of ash and smoke out over the ocean that could be seen from space.
Plumes of smoke, and it was so thick, even 70, 100 miles offshore.
You can see the ash, though.
As chance would have it, a group of scientists from San Diego happened to be off the coast of LA collecting water samples.
Dark gray confetti all over the water, which was the ash. That's how they described it. We realized this was an opportunity to find out what was happening.
With the deck covered in soot, scientists immediately changed course and started collecting that ashy ocean water, because even the tiniest debris in that water could tell us a lot.
What are the impacts of this, of the fire, the smoke, in the marine ecosystem?
NOAA's Dr. Noel Boland heads up what's called the Cal Coffee Project, which started 75 years ago.
Our team goes out and collects plankton samples, and they get preserved in jars like this.
More than 1 million of those samples have now been preserved.
Oh, this is a good one.
In this room.
January 1963.
Like tiny time capsules.
Thousands of little larvae, and you know, they all have a story to tell.
And as the ocean and what's in it changes, even just a little, so can those samples.
If something doesn't look right in how it's formed, you'll see it. You'll be able to see that.
This is not the first time scientists have studied wildfire ash falling into the ocean, but these are not typical wildfires.
So many of those fires that we've seen before are, you know, vegetation fires. These are urban fires. So these are houses, neighborhoods, people's homes, they are businesses.
Which means when memories and livelihoods went up in flames, so did all kinds of toxic materials, something now being referred to as urban ash.
The ash, honestly, is going to contain a lot of toxins. We expect to see things like asbestos and other polycarbonates that we wouldn't normally see in a vegetation fire. Right now, off of California, this is peak anchovy spawning time. In the ash samples, we have pictures from our crew at sea of samples that are thick with anchovy eggs and all a bunch of ash and fire debris in that same sample. Why should people care about whether anchovies are healthy or not, or the ecosystem is healthy or not? Well, because the base of the food system is so important for humans. Anchovies feed birds, mammals, other big fishes that we all love to eat.
Think of it like a trickle-up effect that could take weeks or years to notice.
Are you concerned?
Yeah, I am. I'm concerned because we do expect to see some change. Will it be huge? I don't know that answer. So yes, I am concerned, and I'm concerned for the community.
Tomorrow marks International Holocaust Day. Some of the few remaining survivors of Auschwitz will gather at the site of the Nazi concentration camp as the world marks the 80th anniversary of its liberation by the Red Army during the final months of World War II. NBC's Jay Gray has more from Auschwitz.
Well, we are just outside of the barbed wire here at Auschwitz. Inside today, not the normal tours, no visitors from outside like you would normally see here. Instead, today, this hallowed ground is reserved for those who escaped, the survivors. On the eve of the 80th anniversary of the liberation of this death camp, they're getting some private time inside, many with their families. Tomorrow, of course, the crowds will gather again, including dignitaries and leaders from around the world. The U.S. delegation here will be led by the Secretary of Treasury, Stephen Mnuchin. But we won't hear from politicians speaking tomorrow. That honor is reserved again for those survivors who are sharing their stories and sharing their memories of the horror inside these camps. Now, many of them will tell you, I don't want to come back here. I don't enjoy coming back to Auschwitz. It's not something I would choose to do, but they feel like it's a duty to be back here and share firsthand what happened inside these camps and make sure that that's never forgotten. But they also are quick to point out that they do this because they want to honor the memories of those who did not get to walk out of these camps. More than 1 million killed inside during the occupation here. That's the latest right now for Auschwitz. I'm Jay Gray, NBC News. Now back to you.
All right, pretty nasty weather last night. Didn't expect that when I went outside. I should have paid more attention to your news forecast. But then also that kind of lingered here today, this morning.
Yeah, same story for the next 48 hours, too. We're going to have some showers and drizzle from time to time. The heavy stuff moves on Wednesday into Thursday. Let's talk about it. Here is Bastrop background shot. We have some gray skies. It's 50 right now in Austin. Winds are the north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's how it looks. Clouds in radar. Most of the heavier rain is east of I-35, but a lot of us dealing with just some light mist out and about this evening. Here's your day planner. Tomorrow, 45 at 7 a.m. By noon, 48, 55. A little bit cooler than normal high temperatures for the afternoon hours. The cloud cover sticking around throughout your Monday. High-resolution model keeps some on and off rain showers throughout the next 48 hours. I'm going to keep this at 10%. Nothing too heavy or crazy up until Wednesday and Thursday. That's when some heavier rain will move in, but through Tuesday as well. Pretty much the same story. Maybe some more moderate to slightly heavier showers Tuesday night into your Wednesday. Storm Prediction Center is highlighting a little bit of our area as well as Central Texas on Thursday for some possible severe weather. So keep that in the back of your mind. It's a little too far out for the specific details here, but here's what's going to happen big picture. Upper level lows going to move across the four corners Tuesday, Wednesday into this upcoming Thursday. And this is a pretty typical setup for some sort of severe weather activity on the right side of this trough that digs across the Central Plains. Computer model pretty much confirms this Wednesday, Thursday into Friday. Some of these darker greens and yellows, that represents moderate to heavy rain. It's going to be a cold front as well, and the concern could be some isolated supercell activity ahead of the cold front. But again, once we get those high-resolution models coming in, we won't have too much of an idea of what's going to happen until probably Monday or Tuesday here at the First Warning Weather Center. Another reason why you have to tune in the coming few days. We do know heavy rain is on the way, though, 2 to 4 inches east of I-35 and then west of Travis County, 1 to 2 inches. This is through Friday. I think most of Friday and then the weekend will be 100% dry. So it's just going to be about 2 days of some heavy rain Wednesday into probably early Friday morning. Tonight, though, we're going to have on and off rain showers. It's not going to be a washout. No severe weather expected tonight. It's going to be cloudy and winds will be calm tomorrow. Winds will be pretty much light out of the north. No gusts expected. On and off drizzle throughout the day. And this forecast tomorrow is also going to be the same as Monday night as well as Tuesday itself. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Rain chances sticking around for pretty much every single day up until Friday. We'll see a little bit of an increase Tuesday into Wednesday, back up to 60 and then 80% chance of rain. We're really going to watch Thursday up until we're about 3 days out. We're looking at the big picture trends, and then by Tuesday into Wednesday, we'll fine-tune the specific details and timing here. Also, download the First Warning Weather app because we have updates not only on the daily forecast, but we have a really insightful and useful radar that will give you by-the-minute updates on rain in your location.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Hey, good afternoon, all, and happy Sunday. Texas women's basketball been traveling a lot this week. They were in New Jersey Monday to face the fighting Maryland Terrapins. Then they came back home Thursday in a ranked showdown against Tennessee, where they also came out victorious. Then to Should we call it beautiful, Nabil? Oxford, Mississippi?
Yes, magnificent.
Bias there. A lot of travel. Longhorns and a pretty good team in the Ole Miss Rebels. This one was interesting here. Madison Booker, homecoming for her. Got mom in attendance. Just grew up a couple miles from Oxford. Early on, Rory Harmon, Texas knocks in the jumper there with 5:45 left in the second quarter. No more field goals for them until about 8:30 left in the third when Jackalinga went and Tonda knocks it in. Texas finds themselves down 6 in the final quarter. Madison Scott for Ole Miss makes it an 8-point lead. Texas having to, just like the men today, go scratch and claw the way back. Taylor Jones ties it up with 2 minutes left. She had a game-high 24. Then 30 seconds left. They go to Madison Booker again. Same shot she hit against Tennessee earlier in the week. Texas needs to stop defensively, up 2 in the final moments. They get it. Ole Miss would foul. Rory Harmon hit 1 of 2. They needed another stop. And the hometown kid seals it. Madison Booker with a big steal. And Texas, I think, escape is clearly the right word. They leave Oxford with a win. Beautiful Oxford, according to Bill. Thursday, they come back to host Missouri. And after that game against Missouri, halfway through SEC play. Quick look at the NFL game going on today so far. Blowout in the All-NFC East NFC Championship game. Eagles look to be headed to another Super Bowl. All right, welcome back. Everybody recovered from a bit of moody madness a day ago. Texas men's team was down 22 in the second half, and then in a move that seems maybe illegal, impossible, they ended up winning the game against rival Texas A&M. They came all the way back to make things interesting, like did Rodney Terry's crew. Trey Johnson led them there, the freshman with a career-high 30 points, but the play was drawn up for him in the final moments. Though he gave it up, they found Tremont Markey hit this lefty runner to go up 1 in the final moments. Yes, Wade Taylor almost hit this for Texas A&M. But Coach Rodney Terry afterwards spoke about what they wanted on that play and Johnson's selflessness.
We wanted to let Trey try to get this thing done, you know, and truth be known, the set was for Trey. I mean, we're going to put the ball in his hands. But, you know, when you put the ball in your go-to guy's hands, he can either make the play or he can make the play for a teammate. Trey trusts his teammate in that situation. Maybe early in the year, he probably would have tried to force up a shot and take the shot regardless. He did a good job recognizing that we were able to get the ball to Tremont was a better matchup for us with Wade. Ball game.
How about that? All right, quick note that is on Texas football. Westlake alum Colton Vosick reportedly, first reported by 24/7 Sports, going to undergo shoulder surgery to repair a torn labrum. Man, I can't say this. 2 sacks this past year for number 92. To tennis overnight, we said we were not going to stay up for this one. Alexander Zverev looking for that elusive major title in the Australian Open men's final against Jannik Sinner. And this one was, you know, not the longest, but this rally here was incredible. Sinner won the first set, down 6-5 in the second, 30-all. Just an incredible point. Usually we don't like showing highlights this long, but this was the point of the match and kind of one of those where you knew if Jannik Sinner wins this, he's going to win the match. And watch this. He did. Beautiful point for him. Then he would take it in straight sets to win the Australian Open.